Happy Friday, everyone. It's Friday evening's edition of Weather for Weather Geeks. We've got a lot to talk about this evening. Tomorrow's forecast is taking on a little more of a snowy flavor than it did earlier this week. We'll talk about those details. We'll get to those pretty quickly in this video, but real quick, a review of today. 38 this afternoon with thickening clouds, a shade above what is average for this time of the year. A couple of sprinkles earlier on today, otherwise just kind of an uneventful ho-hum Friday. But the radar is going to get busy later on tonight as this storm system continues pushing off to the north. Now we're going to be on the western side of this, so we're going to miss the deepest moisture, the wettest winter day on record, meteorological winter today, in Charleston, South Carolina, and the heaviest of the rain will continue pushing up the eastern seaboard for us. We're on the western side of this, the colder side of this, and while we will see rain initially, eventually the air aloft above our heads is going to cool enough for some snow tomorrow. But it will be a chilly, well, frankly, just cold, miserable rain that pushes in later on tonight. Pretty light at first, picking up a little bit in intensity by tomorrow morning. Now, the model trends today have been quite a bit faster with the cooling of that air column. So already by 8, 9 in the morning, maybe out towards Canton, Akron, I-77, it may be already starting to mix with, if not changing over, to some wet snow. That puts it on schedule to start mixing and changing over here before the morning is through. It looked like earlier this may wait until the afternoon, but now it looks like before the morning is through, we're going to see that transition from west to east. First places to probably see some snowflakes on Newton Falls and Sebring, Hanoverton, and then pushing east across the PA border and across Mercer and Lawrence counties. It may take until about noon or so before you see that transition, but from west to east, it'll take a couple of hours for that transition to from rain to wet snow to occur. The snow will then taper off fairly quickly late in the afternoon on Saturday. Now, with the earlier onset of the wet snow, the idea that we would not see any accumulation from this has now become an idea that we'll probably see some accumulation from this, but it'll be fairly low impact, I think, because of the air and ground temperatures. This accumulation on this particular model suggests an inch, maybe even up to 2 in some spots, and a lot of that's, if not all of it's just going to be on the grass, and it's going to be on windshields and your deck, anything non-paved. I really think the roads should not be a real big issue tomorrow thanks to the very marginal temperatures. Here's a look at the model output for the weekend for snow. The NAM goes a little crazy up here along with the GFS ensemble, but there's more of a model consensus down in this zone, which is closer to an inch, and that's where I think our forecast should be. An inch, maybe an inch and a half worth of snow coming our way tomorrow afternoon. Maybe enough to cover the ground, enough to cover the grass. The grass may not be showing by the end of the afternoon tomorrow. So, we've had bigger storms. We're going to have bigger storms. And thankfully, for what should be a very busy day on the roads and at shopping centers, there's only 2 Saturdays left before Christmas. Thankfully, we're not looking for big impacts on the major roads. That includes 224, that includes 422, the Turnpike, I-80, roads that are going to be pretty busy tomorrow. Now, you got to watch for the reduction in visibility. At times, this snow could come down at a pretty decent clip. But if you're heading out to the mall or doing anything holiday shopping related tomorrow, we're just getting to work, I'm not real concerned about the roads for most of the day. We should be in okay shape. Again, temperatures 34-ish during a lot of this wet snow, and it means it'll have a hard time sticking on a lot of our area roads with the snow falling during the day. Let's talk about Monday. I want to back this animation up to Monday morning. After some leftover flurries on Sunday, here's an update on that early week system we've been talking about all week. I think this may come in kind of 2 waves. An initial little lead wave, what we call warm air advection. Basically, a warm front's going to be like this Monday morning. There could be a little lead punch of moisture that comes in very early in the day Monday, out ahead of the main cluster of precipitation that may drop just a little bit of snow on us Monday morning. Now, if this comes to fruition, I'm not going to be surprised if we have some localized slick spots early in the day on Monday. There's probably going to be some sort of a lull midday into the afternoon before a little more pronounced moisture surge heads our way later in the day. Now, as that secondary, or I should say main wave of moisture heads our way, boy, it's going to be a marginal situation temperature-wise, both here at the ground and upstairs in the atmosphere somewhat. And so everything's still on the table. We may see some chilly rain. We may see some wet snow. We might see some sleet. I can't even rule out a period of freezing rain at some point late Monday and into Monday night. The storm track has still not been nailed down, and that storm track will be very, very important to getting the details right on this. If the storm track's Far enough to the south, it's more of a frozen precipitation deal. If it tracks a little more to the north and drags in that warmer air, we'll probably see more mixing and even a changeover to rain later Monday into Monday night. These are things we still don't really have great answers to. There's going to be precipitation of some kind, and there's probably going to be some sort of a variety, and I still don't think this is going to be a big snow producer for us because of that threat for mixing. And even if the storm is far enough to the south that it's mostly snow, a farther south storm is a weaker system, and therefore snow amounts still won't be very high. So I'm not looking for a big snowstorm out of this, but some sort of a potpourri of precipitation is going to be a possibility late Monday into early Tuesday. This will then taper off as some flurries later Tuesday. All right, let's talk a little bit more about the longer range. If you've been following this video this week, I've been talking about the white Christmas chances and the pattern leading up to Christmas. I told you yesterday there were some trends, some chillier trends for late next week, and that's still generally the case, although it doesn't look quite as cold as it did yesterday. The models are really struggling with this pattern. So it looks chilly-ish, but not crazy cold late next week. Still pretty high confidence, though, that the run-up to Christmas, around Christmas, and even somewhat after Christmas will not be very cold at all. In fact, most of the lower 48 states in orange here in the 8 to 14 day outlook. So this 8 to 14 days would be next weekend through a couple of days after Christmas. And boy, there's just no Arctic air on the playing field here with the latest modeling. So my initial white Christmas forecast put out a couple of days ago was below the historical odds of 46%. My initial forecast was 30%. Now with the model trends over the last couple of days, I've lowered it to 20%. I'm not going to rule it out yet, 11 days, 10 days before Christmas, but it's not looking great for a white Christmas this year, and we didn't have one last year. Most people don't mind a little snow on Christmas as long as it doesn't impact your travel plans. That would be ideal. Actually, the kind of snow that we're going to have tomorrow would be great on Christmas morning. Non-impactful on the roads, but pretty to look at. That'd be great for Christmas. Boy, I just don't see a lot of opportunities for that because it's a mild pattern, and sometimes in mildish patterns you can still squeeze out some snow, but I don't see much evidence on the modeling that there's going to be an active storm track around in that last few days before the Christmas holiday. As always, if there are changes, I'm going to tell you all about them on this video and on social media. In the meantime, hope you have a great Friday night and a great weekend. I'm actually working for Ramel Sunday, so I'll have updates on what to expect with the Monday night, and early Tuesday situation coming up on Sunday.